Hi friends, and welcome. On today's adventure, we're headed up to a new place, an old way. Now I should tell you we means Tina and I, and the new place, at least to us, is Lodge 88 up in Chapleau in Algoma country in Ontario. And an old way, well, we're actually going to go to Chapleau and get on the Via Canada rail system. We're going to take the fish train, as I used to call it when I was young, and I'm really looking forward to a little bit of my youth on this trip. Now on top of that, I'm looking forward to some big time walleye. Terry Pullitz and his staff out at Lodge 88 are known for putting people on the fish. So Tina and I are truly looking forward to getting out there and taking our shot at them. Hey, I'm your host, Kyle Randall. This is my Wilderness Journal, and we're gonna get on the fish train right now. A small brown building behind an aging locomotive was all we saw when we walked up to the Via Rail office. Some others were waiting for a southbound, but Tina and I had a different plan. We were actually headed north, up into the bush, up to Lodge 88. We were getting on the fish train.
I kindly see your ticket, please. Good. Wow, you can both stay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And once we got settled into our seats, we just sort of relaxed and enjoyed the ride. And I remembered as we clicked along how easy this is. How great it is to be able to go back in time and relive the way I used to go to Canada. The way most of us went up into the bush was on a train just like this. You hope to see some wildlife, you stare out at the lakes and streams. It's a tremendous trip that still holds some adventure. It's something you can still do. And before you know it, you're there and they're unloading your stuff from the train, and then a short run into camp and a chance to learn more about Lodge 88.
This place is beautiful, man.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting us. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions before we charge out there and start plying the waters. Lodge 88's been here for how long?
It's 1958.
Wow.
Yep.
So, a long history here.
Yeah, it's run by the McLaughlins, owned since day one, and they still own it.
Yeah,
to
but
this day.
and you're running things though day to day, and you've been here how long?
15 years.
So what's a full camp? How many can you house?
You can house 34 people at one time.
All right, and that's all in cabins, or?
That's all in cabins and suites.
And what's a suite?
A suite would be consisted of a bathroom, a bedroom, and a front room. They're either going to be American plan or with small kitchens that you could do your own cooking for housekeeping plan.
Okay, American plan is meals in your dining room. I peeked in there. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, about 85% of the people come in, they enjoy meals in the lodge.
Okay, now let me ask you, the train. We came in on the train, and that was tremendous. Is that how most folks come here from White River or Chapleau on the train?
I'd say 90% of people come in by train.
And if they want to fly in, they can do that too, though,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
We're fishing walleye and pike primarily here, but you do have a portage trip for lake trout and brook trout, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
We're
that
here
would,
a little
be
later in the
springtime.
year for that, but
That'd be springtime.
okay. And what kind of boats are you running? Because I know people will ask.
16-foot aluminum boats or 18-foot cedar strip traditional boats.
Okay, but stuff that anybody that's ever run a boat can handle?
Anybody can handle them.
All right.
Right from a novice right up to somebody that's got a 20-footer.
All right, and,
Yeah.
and mom, grandma, the kids, the dog, the whole family's welcome?
You can put them all in one boat.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Kyle.
After taking a few minutes with Terry to learn about Lodge 88 and how the history of this place plays into the future of this place, Tina and I were anxious to get out and chase some of those fish, so we jumped into the boat with guide JP. And all right, JP, you know where all the fish are and what they'll bite, right?
Yep, exactly.
Perfect, this will be a good day. JP gassed the motor and took us sliding up a beautiful lake shore, and before long,
Shoulder comes out over here, and we're trying to just fish around the edge of it.
all right. But I have to admit, as soon as we stopped, I looked in the water and there were mayflies everywhere. After a short run up the lake, JP stopped the boat. I started looking around, and I have to admit I was more than a little concerned. Not with his choice of places, but with all the mayflies. The giant mayflies were everywhere on the water. Now, if you've been to Canada and you've ever been around when the 2 or 3 day giant mayfly hatch is happening, well, let's just say that a lot of places don't even go out and fish. It can be that tough. But we were here, we were gonna give it a go, and Tina was, well, she's Tina. Got a fish. I see something down there, deep color. Get a tail rope. Look at there, it's a walleye you got there.
Yay!
Sweet. That's a nice walleye right there. Have him net that? You want to land it?
We can net it.
All right. Here you go. There's one. Well, there. You got to lunch.
Yeah,
It's about frying pan size.
it's a pretty one.
Figure be you getting into the walleye first morning. There you are. You gonna put it back?
Yep. There you go. Awesome.
You got me wet.
Sorry.
Uh-huh. You don't look sorry.
Mayflies or not, Tina was on her game, and it wasn't long before...
Walleye to me. Look at that.
Just that quick, JP had his net under another decent walleye. And I did notice Tina was watching, but she didn't seem too concerned.
I don't think that's quite as big as Tina's, but then they never are. Nice job. This is making me hungry. All right, I think that's 1-1 and you're winning, Tina.
I'm not that competitive.
Really? Did you just
The
say
bigger point was there were fish here and they were biting. Even if we weren't hooking them all, there were fish.
I got air. Oh well. There's few fish here though. That's 3 and 2 passes over this spot. That guide might have some idea what
There
he's
were
doing.
definitely fish biting. In fact,
Another one?
Yeah,
well, I ain't seen it
I
yet.
haven't either. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
I bet it's in the water.
Yeah. There he is.
Well, that fish don't count.
Why?
Well, it's just barely big enough for me to eat.
There we go.
All right, put that back. Show off.
Okay. There he goes.
Good job. What's your secret? You're not telling, are you?
No.
Secret. Yeah. That's why it's a secret.
That's why it's a secret.
Well, Tina wouldn't tell JP what the secret was either, so after we got tired of watching her catch a couple of more fish, he decided we'd try a different spot. And no, it didn't make any difference. Got one?
Yeah, got one.
Oh, by golly, you do.
Well, that's not a bad one, no? Oh, wait. Excuse me. I have one of my own. You think I'm kidding?
And
I
the
know,
first
but
fish on this new spot was actually 2 of them.
I think it's a 1/2 inch longer than your fish. What do you think? I think it is. I think if we measured it, which we're not gonna, it'd be just a 1/2 inch longer than the one you caught. You believe me, don't you?
Yep.
We've been married almost 40 years. You don't believe me yet?
Okay.
Look how big that is. That's all right. We're catching fish. It's 3 o'clock on a bright sunny afternoon. The day after just a huge hatch. You know, there's 2 or 3 days a year when up here the big mayflies hatch, and it does make it tougher, but obviously there's enough fish here, and JP back there's got it going on. He's putting us on some fish and we're still catching them, and I'm here to tell you there's a lot of places where the mayflies are hatching. They don't even bother leaving the dock. We're still getting it done. So there's obviously some fish here. Having Tina along on a trip like this can be like having a secret weapon. That girl can just flat out catch walleye, and wherever we go, she gets it done. We caught some great fish and then headed in for a tremendous dinner in the lodge. And after dinner, it was so nice, I said, you know, let's just take a little evening cruise, go out and give them one more try before night. You got fish?
I think so.
Good. After supper fish. Oh yeah, you got nice walleye.
Get up. Let's bring him out. There he is.
That's a good looking fish, girl. That's what we come for. Who knew you'd do that?
Don't do this. Don't be nice. Be nice.
It's always the same. This time we were just using a jig and a leech.
Sun is setting. What a girl. Nice job. You gonna
Pretty.
keep that for tomorrow or let it go?
No, I'll let him go.
A bait Tina had never even fished
There we go.
before.
So, what do you think of them leeches now?
Still don't like him.
Still don't like them, but the fish do, and that's what matters, right?
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Right, you want me to get you another one?
Yes.
All right. A lot of people have problems with leeches. I do not. They used them for centuries, still do for medicinal purposes, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm hoping they're good medicine for some late evening walleye. Either way, see, no holes in my hand. They're not eating me alive.
Well, I didn't seem to be convincing Tina about them leeches, but the fish were definitely liking them.
We're not quite done yet. Oh, this fish we've been looking for right here. Look at that model.
Wow.
That's a dandy right
Yeah,
there.
It is. It's beautiful. You need the net?
Well, a smart person would use a net. A wise person would use a net. A reasonable fisherman would use a net, but I'm going to put that in my hand. That's my hand. There, he's 23 or 4 anyway.
It's nice.
Maybe 25, I don't know, but that's the fish we've been looking for right there. That is a dandy walleye.
Pretty.
That's the way to end your first day of fishing at Camp 88, isn't it?
Yep.
Them guys up there, Terry and JP and them said, well, come on down here after dinner. Some of the big ones move in. I guess they were right.
Yep.
We're going to put that one back so he's here when you get here. But either way, the train ride, the food, the place, the everything. This is something special. And this right here, that's worth going a long ways for. Look at that beautiful fish, man. That's some Canadian gold right there. That's why you come out after dinner right there. Just a little hour cruise with your best fishing girl. What do you think? You ready to go home?
I'm ready. I'm
You
tired.
want to try one more cast or? We only had a couple of days to spend at Lodge 88, and that first one actually turned out a whole lot better than I feared it would. And the very next morning, after saying hi to a couple of the neighbors,
There's a grouse.
we went into the lodge, got a great breakfast, and headed back out. I was really looking forward to trying our hand, you know, just sort of hunting, pecking on our own. And that's exactly what we did. And as soon as we got to the first spot that looked good.
Oh, I have one.
You do?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I had one and he was big.
Oops. Oh well. I guess we'll have to try again.
He was like the one you got last night.
That big?
Now, before you start feeling sorry for her,
How about that? We're walleye fishing and you're catching walleye.
Oh, here, I'll get up. Let me take a quick second here.
Not quite done yet. Round and round he goes. He circles. Deep color.
Oh, he's nice.
It is a nice fish.
Don't do that again.
You gonna land him? You want me to do
I'll
it?
land him.
All right. Figures. Get here. 10 seconds. You hook one, you lose one. Could I fish now?
No.
No? You're doing good. The weather changed. Hopefully he's got them biting. I still see a lot of mayflies on the water, but you know what? This place got some fish.
It's pretty.
All right, put that one back. We'll try to catch his grandpa.
Okay.
Hey, I think he's ready.
I do too.
Nice job.
Thank you.
All righty.
Move
It's
those over.
well, that's some leeches. Don't worry about them. They're working. Yeah?
Okay, let's go.
and they were working.
Oh, there's a fish. There's another walleye. Whoa! Putting up a scrap. Maybe. Just a little better. Oh, spunky. Look at the size of that one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big old good one right there. Oh, look at there. Come here, big boy. Come here. Look at that.
Nice.
Another good looking walleye. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good one right there. Oh. Randall, release. They're putting up a fuss this morning, ain't they?
They are.
That's all right. We're getting her done.
Oh.
Looks like there's some weather coming. We better get
These
back.
fish were definitely energetic, and even though we weren't getting the release just right every time, we weren't hurting any of them. And fortunately, it was never very long before we got some more practice.
Nice 15-incher or so. Certainly an eating size fish. Come here, buddy. He just threw my leash. Give me my bait back. Stay. I'm going to use that. Come here, you. I'm going to use that again. We're conservators. Out there. There, get my bait back. Thank you. Yeah, let's see you do that at home.
That's funny.
Well, friends, if you haven't figured it out yet, we were having fun. It's always a joy to fish with Tina, but when they're biting like this, well, I don't know how you couldn't enjoy this.
Well, I'll tell you what, the weather's gonna turn, but the fish are certainly biting this morning.
After a few more fish in that spot, we decided to move along, and fortunately,
Fish. There's something. Oh yeah, better walleye.
fish seemed to be biting just about everywhere we stopped.
Real nice walleye right there.
Oh yeah, oh my.
Easy. I want to let you go. I always tell them that. I don't think they believe me. Probably shouldn't lift a fish that big on the line, but you got away with it that time. Look at there. There you go. The walleye are biting this morning.
They are.
I'm here to tell you. We're getting it done. I think. I'm not sure, but that may put me one up.
Yep.
Really?
Well, if you count 2 of yours as one of mine.
Oh, see, I knew that somehow the math would change. Huh? I'm gonna go try to catch another 1 or 1.5 fish then. See what I can do.
Yes, friends, I do believe that's the very definition of fuzzy math. Yeah, but fortunately for Tina,
It's not a rock.
No, not a rock.
He's not all that thrilled with you.
No, he's not. He wants to go down.
It's all right. You pick him up here. Don't take no for an answer.
There we go.
Oh, that's not
a
just a
nice
little walleye. That's a nice walleye. Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can do this.
All right.
Be nice.
Need some pliers?
Yeah. There we go.
There's a better one.
Nice fish.
Ah. We got it going on this morning.
We do.
You know?
Nope, I'm gonna let him go because I see
All right.
some rocks.
Yeah, I see we're getting up on them.
Oh, there you go.
we really did have it going on that day, and just after moving, it was more of the same. Well, kinda.
That's a little bit sportier model there. Oh, Tina, don't horse him.
Got him.
That's near a 30-incher right there.
here.
You might want to back your drag down a little.
Come on. Slow down.
That's a pretty nice pike, girl.
This thing out of my mouth. Thank you.
See if we can get him out of here and have a look at him. There we go.
I thought it was a walleye.
Yeah. A dandy.
It was fun.
He was, and he didn't eat your jig. Thanks, Mr. Pike. You want to put him back now?
Yes.
All right. You want to do that? You want me to do it?
Go ahead.
And away he goes.
Friends, we were having such a good day, even some of the other fishermen were starting to keep an eye on us. We really were enjoying ourselves. And no, you can't see this kind of sight from your couch either. And speaking of sights,
Fish here. Oh, yeah. There's one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, putting up a little bit of stag, too.
and even though the wind was starting to kick up some, the walleye sightings were staying pretty constant. I did have to work a little harder, use the net a little more, keep the boat off the rocks, but the truth is, if you're a multitasker, yes, you can still catch fish.
All right. I don't need that in me. No. Look at that. There's. About threw my line back in, but I got to get us on these rocks. There's fish here, though. Fish here. The wind was starting to pick up again. It was getting a little bit choppy, and some of the fair weather fishermen actually headed for home, but we weren't done, not yet. Oh, it ain't stuck. That's a big fish. This is just 8-pound test. Whatever this is doesn't seem too impressed by me. But there's a lot of rocks in here. I can't help it. I gotta stay out of the rocks. Uh-oh. I think he just broke off.
Oh no.
No, he's still there. I don't know what this is.
But I know there's a lot of rocks in here. Oh, he saw you, said no thanks. Probably gonna get one chance at this. Look at that.
Nice.
There's pretty close to 30.
Beautiful.
Might even be a little better. Ah, it's a nice fish. Lucky I managed to get that in on the light line there, but we got her done. Put him back, let him get even bigger and meaner. Thanks, buddy. And a jigging pole, that's a handful. That was fun.
We made a short run into dinner that last evening in camp, and afterwards it cleared off. It looked like we were gonna have a great night, so we went out to give it one more try before we had to leave the lodge.
And in true Tina fashion, look at that, we found another place. Nice job.
Come on, be nice.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. That's the way to finish a trip right there. Nice job, girl.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks. It's been a great trip.
It has been.
It really has. You know, everybody, Terry, all the staff, all the guys on the dock, the gals in the dining room, everybody just treated us first rate. Oh, and the fishing was good. All right.
Bye.
Unfortunately, it was time to say goodbye to Lodge 88, a great place to visit on the fish train.
Friends, we had such a great trip. I truly want to thank, on behalf of Tina and myself, Terry, and all of the staff up at Lodge 88. They worked so hard to make our trip memorable. It's one of those places, like I say, that's the trifecta. Good people, good place, and good fishing. It makes great memories. And who knows, you might just run into us up there, because we're definitely going to do it again. And if we do see you, friends, well, you know we're going to stop and share that cup and a fire, maybe a fish story or two. And if we don't see you up there, well, then I promise I'll be waiting right back here so we can share another adventure from my Wilderness Journal.